Good afternoon. I'm outdoors and greasy from sunscreen. Hi, I'm Deanne Battle, and this is the Composite, Season 3, Episode 19. All right, we are closing out the season. So, and I've joked about this multiple times. I'm not fast at most things, including stabilizing my situation here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That should be decent for a while. All right. So I'm not quick at most things, but I've somehow managed to do 3 seasons of a talk show in less than 13 months. So I'm just, feeling a little bit of a sense of accomplishment for the consistency part of it, at least. Now, as a content strategy, that's evolving. come talk to me when we start season 4. Which, by the way, while I'm here, so I'm going to take a couple of weeks off because that's what I've been doing. I'll do the season and then take a couple of weeks off. And so that puts us closer to returning right before Juneteenth, and we will do a special Juneteenth episode. I have no idea what it's going to contain yet, but stay tuned. All right. So I hope everyone's doing well on this summery Saturday. So again, I'm outside, and today it's gonna be kind of just. I think I'm gonna putt a little bit. We'll be putting around. Like I said, it's just, I usually don't do a show on Saturday, or if I do, it's Saturday night. Sometimes with a beverage. No, always with a beverage, but sometimes the beverage has alcohol in it. But, yeah, no party today. I'm just kind of here for the holiday weekend. I'm in the house. I sold my car. So, yeah, it's time, folks. I'm really making that push to get back into New York City. I'm feeling very optimistic about this summer, although I'm not feeling optimistic about current events. I'm feeling optimistic about the summer, and I just feel like, New York City, that's where I need to be, at least for the summer. And getting myself closer to work and stop torturing myself. But circumstances are what they are. But anywho, I'm looking forward to doing a Juneteenth show. If I'm in New York, maybe I'll go to Bryant Park or something like that and do the show from there. I like the idea of being in some sort of community. Again, I still, to a certain extent, feel in a lockdown mode, and maybe it's because I was just navigating the world via my car, not sure. But yes, I will be outdoors. I'll be at parks, libraries. I do miss the New York City Library so much. I miss the library. What else do I really miss? The Frick Museum. I really love the Frick Museum. Yeah, only had the opportunity to visit a couple of times, but that was my library hookup. Fun fact, I am a nerd. Like, throughout my life have pen pals. I enjoy writing letters. I joined writing groups, but at one point I was in, oh my God, I forget what it's called. This was when I was in this group, it was like around 2009. So it was like a long time ago. But I was in a group for librarians, or the library interested. I don't know what you call us. But anyway, people that really like libraries. And through that hookup, they could get us occasionally like special tours of museums. And that was the first time I had gone into the Frick as an adult. I was like, oh my God, I have to come back here. So then, I ended up going back. But, I just, yeah, the MoMA, even the Museum of Natural History, it always reminds me of elementary school. You knew that they were going to at least, even if there was like no money and you couldn't do a field trip, you would at least get to go there. So, yeah, it's hard to really express where home is in an authentic way, I've moved around a lot. And I've been away from New York for so long, it just sometimes feels like, can I really even say that I'm a New Yorker anymore? But summertime in the fall, really, I would say from like late April until Halloween, it just, New York is, you can't beat it. And so I hope that some of that I remember is still there. It's going to take a few months to get things settled. I mean, I don't want to put too many details out in this space. Not like I have anything interesting going on. It's just, being mindful. Sorry, the dog wants to go in the house. She's like, listen, you can stay out here, but I need AC. I understand, my friend. But yes, so moving back, moving again. God, tired of moving. But anyway, moving again. And I'll be out and about. So like at a park or just, looking at people that dress differently. That's another thing. Like when you live in the suburbs, it's like the kids are all wearing the same sweatpants and tops or everyone's bought the same polo sweater or the White House black market outfit. It's not, doesn't hit the same, I'm not knocking it, because I understand now why people move to the suburbs. I used to talk so much trash about the suburbs when I was a teenager, because it just felt like it was something that I was being kept from. And now it's just like I was this was like 3 weeks ago. I had dinner with a friend and we were walking around her township, and pardon me. So we were walking around her township, and it's just, the kids were doing this robotics contest, and it was just like, they were all races and all nationalities, just being nerdy, overprivileged little snots in the mall. And it was wonderful. I also would like a child who has the opportunity to be a nerdy, overprivileged little snot at the mall like everybody else. So I get why people do the suburbs, but I just, it's that push and pull, being an aspiring artist, wanting to be an established artist, wanting to meet people that disrupt my perspectives, for the sake of the personal development, but also for the sake of my art. Like, the suburbs are often, it can be pretty stifling. It can be pretty suffocating. But I think I'm at the point where I take accountability for my part in that, right? Other people can't. People can be authentic and genuine with me, but they can't take accountability for my perceptions of who they are, right? So if I'm coming to the table and I've already prejudged a person that lives in the suburbs or a person that lives in the city, a person of whatever, all they can do is hopefully be compassionate and empathetic toward me and express who they are. They can't be held responsible for whether or not I feel they, size up or not to my expectations. I hope that makes sense. But all of that being said, I'm glad to go back to the weirdos in the city because we are aligned. I am them, they are me. All right. Other things that are going on. I don't know if I talked about this. I might have. And pardon the sweating. It's hot out here. Okay. These memes, right, with the black wife effect. So I guess the initial trend of it is dying down, so to speak. But there's still, commentary in different corridors. I find it weird, which means I might have addressed this. It just, not because of the concept of it, but just I know why I'm repeating myself. I'll get to that. But, like, I just want Black women to be loved, not because they feel like, oh, I have to, like, quote unquote upgrade this person that I'm with. You know, it's just like, no, you should just get love. How about that? You know, everything is just always reduced to a very transactional talking point. So, you know, as that trend fades away, I'm happy. Because as a Black woman, it's just like weird to see, you know, it come up casually in conversation or people online, like, you know, Black girl magic, yes. And I'm just kind of like, y'all, I don't think this is a flex. Like, let's stop. It's 2024. Let's stop trying to prove ourselves. And I mean, I'm not saying it as if I'm outside of that. The ways in which I over-explain my opinions and perceptions, so on and so forth, I still do fall victim and party to that trait or habit. But I want to be more mindful of, there are better ways for me to spend my energy writing this book, which, you know, I'm handwriting at this point, you know, because of computer issues. But in a way it's good, because I feel like, you know, setting my timer, you know, when I'm with my writing group, or, you know, setting my timer when I'm on by myself, and just being able to physically put my hands on, okay, 2 pages or whatever, it's been really, really helpful. And, you know, the ideas are flowing really well. You know, I've never been one to say that I'm blocked, right, in terms of writing. My problem is that it erupts all at the same time. So I have project management issues. It's never, I never have an issue coming up with material, you know? It's just sustaining, right, the process around it, so I don't get burned out and hit a wall early, and right, so the project fully comes to fruition the way that I want it to. And that is creative practice theory. A few years ago I started reading up on that, and, you know, I really want to get more into that. Oof, it is bright out here. Let me just see, how does this even look? I hope you all can see me, because it's not looking good on this end. All right, wait. Let me turn. Wow, I might turn into a crispy critter out here. I'll give it another 10 minutes or so. But the sun is sunning. Anyway, but yes, creative practice theory, which is, if you're unfamiliar, it's, again, if you're a nerd, you'll like it. It's the idea of thinking from a physiological and psychological standpoint. Where does creativity live? How do you access it? And how do you manage it? And that's the part that I need. Like, how do I take my creativity that is, I have an abundance of it, but it can sometimes just be like completely chaotic. It just can be like, bleh, you know, all at once. I mean, and this has happened to me recently. So, excuse me, it's sweat, and yeah. When did this happen? Last month, yes. So I have been trying to meditate more, and I'm kind of not doing it right, but sometimes it'll just be like, you know, I'll have the sound bath music going in the background, or just ambient noise going in the background. And then this was last month, and all of a sudden I sat up, and it's just like, I was like, oh, okay, I've got this idea. And it's just, I wrote for about 2.5 hours straight. But here's the thing, it was like 3 different things, and I was just kind of like, I mean, I didn't want to censor myself, but the grown-up part of me was like, okay, this is not helping you. It's exciting. Or like, for instance, like I'll be thinking through plots. Plot is a motion thing for me. Plot usually comes to me when I'm like walking my dog, or I'm at the grocery store, or I'm in my car. Plot, I have to be going somewhere for plot to really crystallize. But now if I'm just sitting and reading or sitting and writing, I can really do like a lot of character and setting work. I don't know where this comes from. It's an observation that I've made. I'm trying to be more self-aware, again, with my creative practice theory. And so sometimes it'll be like, okay, all right, so I have a character doing this, but it's just like, oh, I've got to get this person out of the room and get this person into the room. But I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do now. All right, so then what am I going to focus on if I don't know what to do in terms of plot? I'll focus on character. All right, and then so it's like, okay, I need to take a break. Let me get something to eat, take the dog out, so on and so forth. And then the plot comes. But it doesn't just all of a sudden appear. It's plot plus. It'll be like plot plus, and it'll just be like, oh, okay, so here's how I get the character out of the room. Oh, and she met this woman. That woman is so interesting, and she has her own story, and da-da-da-da-da. And two versions of me. I've also talked about this before. There's who you're seeing right now, and then there's this person over here going, really? Really? You're doing too much. You just needed the element of the plot to get the person out of the room. You didn't need this bit about this woman with this interesting story. Like, why, Deanne? Now you have a page and a half, including dialogue and everything, of something that, best case scenario, you'll work on it like 3 years from now. It's a lot. I just need time, So I'll have time this summer, after I move. I'll have time this summer to really, really work, but it's going to be grueling, because at a certain point, like, all of these people can't live here. I need them to live other places. So we're going to work on that real estate today. I need to keep building so I can move them and redistribute them, because they're living rent-free here right now. And it's a lot. I'm not complaining. It's exciting. But there's also a level of, anticipation and frustration, because I'm like, okay, so, I've had this commute and so on and so forth. And then, I get home. Do I have enough energy to write? So I've been pushing through that. So I've gotten to a point, and I think that it's because, it's warmer now and I can regroup a little bit, and I'm not in hibernation mode. I can motivate to get around that. But the part about having excitement about so many different stories to tell, that part is a lot, because I'm just always like, squirrel, and it's just, you've got to feed the squirrels you have. You can't keep collecting new squirrels. All right, so maybe that's today's theme: no new squirrels. Who knows, right? We got a little overcast, so that's good. Other things that I'm thinking about. I did, want to briefly look at headlines. My friend, she called me and gave me a good economic update. So let me just peek around that corner. But, and then, oh, goodness. And then also, I'm going to hold off on super serious news, because I think that deserves more gravitas than I have the capacity for at the moment, not in general. So let's see. Economy. Okay, so this is from Business Insider. Let's briefly gaze at this. And the title of the article is, "Hey, America, here's what's actually going on with the economy." All right. Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be some BS, of course, right? Because, again, the framing, I talk about that so much. English teacher that repeats themselves, surprise, surprise. The framing is always off, right? Oh, well, Americans think we're in a recession, but we're actually not. It's regular Americans that in their consumption habits, right, that are a majority of the economy. Now, that might have diminished since I was in my 20s, but I definitely remember that conversation being had multiple times. But anywho, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this to load. But yeah, it's always, oh, all of these wonderful economic indicators are happening, but Americans just don't know what's going on. They just don't know how to interpret it. It's like, no, how do you interpret the economy for yourself? Like, can you go get groceries? Can you keep a roof over your head? Can you keep gas in your car? Those are all at the foundation, right, of Maslow's hierarchy. And like, if you're going to work, you should be able to pay for that stuff, right? And if for whatever reason you can't work, then we should have a way to be helpful so that you can, right, do all of those things like eat, so on and so forth. You know what? Okay, I see what's happening. All right, so no articles. And here's why. It's too hot out here and the iPad is overheated. So I'm going to turn it off because it's already old as hell and no longer updates. So I don't want the metal to actually melt in my hand here. So it's actually so hot that I am going to crack the door for a second and toss that inside because it's real in the field out here. Okay? All right. So what that means is, right, there'll be no poems because I can't read it on my iPad, and no articles. But what a janky news update. I'm sorry, y'all. But so anywho, yes, there is a deliberate misredirection always about the economic health and well-being of this nation. And I suspect that article would continue that fact. But to be fair, I will post a link so that way if you do want to read it, you can come to your own conclusions and not just trust a random English teacher on the internet. Okay? All right. So now, what am I doing? I have my Spirit of the Oracle deck, right? Still, exploring tarot and oracle cards as a way to connect to spirit, but then also just to learn how to listen to myself, which I'm not good at. So there's that. Globs of sweat. And what do I want to ask? I'm like shuffling and there's not a question. I guess I'll just say, like, what are certain things that we need to consider? All right, so here's something that I'm going to do that's a bit different. So last night I was, again, experimenting, and I don't really have like a protocol in terms of spreads, so to speak. I usually just take 3 cards, right? Past, present, future. Can I put together a story about it? But I realized, I'm like, wait, you're watching all of these people and they use the oracle cards and the tarot cards together. And I'm like, oh, like, have I, pardon the likes, have I done this enough or seen enough of this to have my own methodology? And I was like, yeah, why not? Again, trust yourself. So I am cutting these cards. All right, and now I'm going to shuffle. Just something we need to hear right now as a collective, okay? Something we need to hear or be aware of at the moment on this fine Saturday, sweaty afternoon. It's taking a while to get one of these little guys here. I usually like to take, oops, okay. Oh, so this one flipped over. Just a sec, I'm just gonna put the rest of the cards away. All right, so the card that came up is the cougar, right? And it represents being assertive, right? And it says, in silence you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed, right? So you have courage and confidence. Be assertive. Now, I'm going to go to the book to see if there's anything of interest in addition to that, right? So, just FYI, in case you were unaware, cougars are also called pumas, right? So that's the same thing. Or maybe the puma is a type of cougar. Well, I can't look it up right now, but that's an observation. Not a helpful one, but do with it what you will. All right, so other characteristics associated with cougars: silence, self-assurance, confidence, camouflage, cunning, courage, agility, action, artistic, observation, completion of goals, right? So a cougar is a closer, all right? Okay, the noble cougar, also called mountain lion or puma, so it's just different names, all right? Your intuition, hunches, and knowing will be enhanced by your cougar totem. Oh, crap. So before I picked the card, right, I was just like, oh, one of the reasons I do this is I'm not good at listening to myself. And so maybe today's spirit animal is directed at me. So I guess I'm telling on myself here. So it says, again, your intuition, hunches, and knowing will be enhanced by your cougar totem. You will sense threats and avoid them. Oh my God, I'm not good at that. So somewhat related, right? So hats. People that know me know I hate hats. Why do I hate hats? Because I just have such a big head. It's hard to find a hat. And so this brand of hats, they make hats that are comfortable for my big ass head. And I wear them now. And it's so, if you are aware of, African spiritual traditions, right? So religions that descend down from Ifa, whether it's Lukumi, Vodun, so on and so forth. One thing all of these traditions will tell you is protect your energy, cover your head. And if you're someone who doesn't like hats, and at the time I was Christian, like I was going to church 3 days a week, like I was all in. And so I wasn't really looking into those types of spiritual traditions anyway. But now that I am, I'm like, oh yeah, like when I'm out and about and I have a hat on, or just like a head wrap or just something, now I'm noticing a difference. I feel a little more at ease. Now, to be fair, I think I used to get a little bit of that effect from my glasses, because I used to wear glasses and very, very thick prescriptions. And so all types of stuff was happening back here. And then in 2018, I got my eyes done, not LASIK, but PRK. So I got PRK, and people started asking me, oh, what's wrong? Or, oh, I noticed you didn't like that. And I was just like, huh? And I realized I was making crazy faces. But I used to do it before, like behind the glare of the glasses, so people don't see me like no, they can see you now. So resting bitch face it is. Sigh. All right. Other things about the cougar. Yes, but cougars, right, protect themselves against threats. Hats protect your energy against threats, because haters are just, they're a lot. So this one person was posting on X, which, yeah, I'm still there. So he's posting on X, and he's just like, oh, like, you know, it was very short. It's just like, oh, if you smoke weed, we smell you. Yeah, so fucking what? There are people who don't wash their ass. You smell those folks too. Are you putting something on X about them? No, why? Because you don't want that smoke from those funky, musty people. So why do you want smoke from the musty weed smokers? So I wrote back and I said, well, would you rather smell them or tussle with them? Let people self-medicate in peace. My God, like, even the most minor thing has hatred. Now, to be fair, if you have a sensitive nose and things like that, is weed, is it like a bad thing? Yes, because some people, you're getting headaches and things like that. And so I'm not saying surround yourself with folks like that, but in my opinion, if somebody is smoking that much to the point where they like always smell like that, there's something else going on, and I'm going to leave them to it, and God bless, because I don't want to see what's under the haze of weed smoke. You can keep that over there. You know, it's tough times. Just let people do their thing. My goodness. Sorry, meandering here. If cougar is new to your life, it means you're coming into your power. Oh, it could also mean it's time to take a leap of faith and go toward your desires. Well, that's what I'm doing. This book should have been done already. It's not. So that's one of the goals this summer. If I can just get to the 2/3 mark, that is success, right? And that's what we want. All right, so I'm going to clarify the cougar card with the tarot. You know, again, just thinking about what should we know? What should we be aware of? I've got to stop being lazy and actually bring the folding table that I have out here when I'm coming out here. It just usually takes me a few extra minutes to set up, and I get nervous about starting late, even though I do. All right, so we're cutting the cards, and then after this we will log off. But before I finish looking at the tarot cards, I just want to say thank you to anybody that's checked out an episode or liked an episode or left a comment. You know, I'm doing this at this point primarily so I comport myself better, that I have more comfort with that. But anyone that's gotten any benefit from the show and continues to support it, thank you so much, right? I never thought I would make it to season 3. Now we're at the end of season 3, and we'll start season 4 closer to like June 13th or 14th. No, that seems a long time away. Let's say closer to June 9th. Yeah, June 9th. I think that's a little better. But so that'll give me an opportunity to do a couple of episodes, and then we can do a Juneteenth episode. I want to get to the point where someone will be willing to be a guest, but we're not there yet. So we'll just keep working at it. And again, the few people that have shown support, like, it makes a difference, okay? All right, so what do we need to be aware of? I just want to clarify this cougar card here. So really not hiding in the shadows, claiming a leadership position. Woo! Nice save. Okay, try to get one card on this. Okay. So what came up? Page of Cups, right? So pages are, young children, usually a young boy, right? And so pages, they deliver a message. So it's like immature energy. Cups relate to your emotions, love, a deep well of sentiment, right? So the Page of Cups, as it relates to the cougar energy. So for me, that's feeling like Spirit is asking us to be assertive, but also recognizes that we have to practice that, right? That there's an emotional element to it, maybe perhaps to having more comfort being assertive. Let me draw another card here. Please clarify the Page of Cups. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, the story's coming together. Okay. Strength, right? So strength represented by a woman petting a lion, right? And you see the infinity sign over her head. The luminescence or the liminal? No. I'm forgetting that word. Yeah. Ugh, gross. All right. It's going to bug me that I forgot that. Anyway, right? So, what does that mean for us? So, Spirit's like, we or I am asking you to step into your power, to be more assertive. But I understand that it's a new emotion for you to take and claim your power, right? And that you need to grow into it, right? So stay strong, stay fortified as that happens. And let's pull one more card. Okay, what I'm going to do is stop shuffling, and then I'm just going to trust myself to reach in the deck and like actually just grab a card. How about that? Oh, okay, the Four of Swords. All right. So that usually is related to rest, recuperation, right? Time to meditate, time to rethink or regroup. So if I have to put this all together, right, we're being asked to, on May 25th, 2024 at 3:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're being asked, right, to really be more assertive, right, to step into leadership and authority of some kind. But, right, Spirit understands it's an evolution. We're young, we're immature, or we're just like naive. Not necessarily immature, it doesn't have to be bad. We're naive. We're learning, how does one assert one's power. We have to stay strong, right? Not give up, stay with it. And then meditate on the process, right? Maybe, you take one step forward, right? Being assertive, saying your ideas, providing leadership. And then maybe you retreat a little bit, take some time to think about it, right? It's a chance to learn and grow. So again, thanks for the support. And stay tuned for season 4 around June 9th or 10th, definitely, right? And then we'll have readings because I want to do that in a better, more structured way. We'll have readings of fiction, other prose, poetry. We'll have I think the first or second episode, I want to spend about 20 minutes doing some hard news. Yeah, it's time, you know. Gave myself an opportunity to step away and regroup, but I also want to make sure that I'm contributing to the things that I care about in a meaningful way, if possible. So yeah, we'll bring that back into it. Music, possibly movie reviews, so stay tuned. There's a lot on the docket, and I still do want to be able to interview writers and poets about their writing. Thanks for letting this be a flexible space, all right? So this has been The Composite. I am Deanne Battle, and this was Season 3, Episode 19, and we're out.